several weeks, our Missionary Moments focus has been on missions work in the Amazon basin. You will recall that last week's video segment ended with the boat carrying the missionaries almost capsizing, and you will also recall that one missionary said he was worried about getting speared. We pick up our story with a weary traveler standing alongside a river somewhere in South Africa's Amazon basin. After 3 hours of trying to maneuver upstream by motorboat to a remote village, the group of International Mission Board missionaries accepts the realization that the journey for the day has ended. Shallow waters, exposed rock, tree limbs, and a rough current that nearly capsized the boat won't allow the group to go any farther. Score a victory for the Amazon. Thousands of miles of dense jungle create a daunting wall for missionaries who want to take the gospel to this area. The missionaries are determined, though. They know that the only hope these people groups have to hear Jesus is by them finding their way through the jungle. A lot of people don't realize how big the Amazon basin and the jungle really is. It covers an area the size of the United States. There are massive areas with no airstrips and no roads. The only way to get there is by helicopter, boat, or on foot. More than 400 people groups, roughly 26 million people live in the Amazon basin. Of that number, 270 people groups are less than 2% evangelical Christian, with no IMB missionaries living among them. 85 people groups survive completely isolated deep in the jungle. We know they exist because they have been spotted by satellite. That being said, we know very little about them, except that they live in primitive conditions. Needless to say, they are understandably suspicious of outsiders. Two other factors keep these groups unreached by the gospel. First, the government prohibits missionaries from having access to them. Second, most of these groups live in areas that are considered too dangerous for outsiders. The dangers include guerrilla fighters, hostile tribes, poor flying conditions, crumbling or non-existent roads, and unpredictable waters. Over the years, many missionaries have lost their lives while attempting to take the gospel to these isolated peoples. We mentioned the 1956 incident where the Haurani Indians in eastern Ecuador killed 5 missionaries. Today we are viewing the final segment of the people in the Amazon basin. Take a look.
Sometimes in life, everything is taken away from you, and all you're left being able to do is just